How's it going, everybody? Johnny Styles here with the Wellness Observer Live. It is September 14th, 2022, and it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Thank you so much for following the Wellness Observer Live one more time all over YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. If you don't know, now you know. You can also watch and listen on Spotify. If you don't want to watch and you can listen on iTunes, that's absolutely fine. Thank you so much for all the support on the Wellness Observer Live. Today, we got a lot of news for you in store. We're going to be talking about the Ifbb Pro League Heart of Texas. I'm going to be talking about a few of the girls that, competed this past weekend. And I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions, and I'll call it right down the middle. And again, if you haven't seen the news and updates on the Wellness Observer page, you can check them out on Instagram. I posted a video up there of the legend Angela Borges. It appears to be a new video of her doing a little bit of deadlifts, where you can see her extremely diced hamstrings alongside her calves. And next time you'll see her in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Mr. Olympia, and we will see if she lands in that prestigious first call out, which I think it's going to change this year. I think some placings are going to change, and don't be shocked if a few of your favorites are not in that first call out. But moving on to the show, I'm going to be talking about a few of the girls again one more time that I specifically marked out because, it was a good show. It was a really good show, really competitive lineup. As I keep telling you guys, this is going to get better and better as the year progresses, and expect even better conditioning and better shape and structure coming in to 2023 in the very best class in the world, the wellness class. Of course, the godfather of wellness will be right there with all of you, not only in the Olympia, but in other shows as well. Because, I want to thank promoters too that have, called me up and asked me to hand awards to their shows. It's awesome. And it shows me that you truly respect all the hard work and dedication that I've put into the class for not only 5, 6, 7, this has been going on for almost 10 years now. So let's get right up to the show. Remember, all these pictures, you can check them out at NPC News Online, the very best place for you guys to check all the pictures related to NPC and the Ifbb Pro League. Of course, the very best league in the world. I'm going to start off with 10th place finisher, Anne-Marie Goubet. If you saw my preview show from her, Anne-Marie, I talked about her conditioning. I talked about her shape and structure. I talked about she did amazing when she won her pro card. And right after that, after her winning the pro card, she went to the pro show because she has the mass and the structure to do battle with the girls. I praised her for her conditioning, and believe it or not, I think she let me down. Something must have happened in this show that her conditioning was way, way off. If you see her in this picture, you can see that she has great glutes, great side quad and hamstring right here. Good calves, great delts. Her tanning was not good. I don't want to come out here and say her tanning was terrible, but yeah, it kind of was in a way, because you see here, this is not a good tanning. She should call liquid sun rays. And I don't know who did your tanning, Anne-Marie, but this has to be a lot darker coming up for the next show. I know I've seen you with better conditioning, and this is not it. From the bag, you can still tell that she's quite a few weeks away. Maybe she's doing another show. Maybe she's, prepping. But I would have loved to see her where her conditioning was when she won her pro card, because when she won her pro card, it was a sight to see. So in reality, I like her a lot. She just needs to nail. This is not stage conditioning. This is not good for an Ifbb Pro to be up there. She should absolutely go back to the drawing board and absolutely see what went wrong, because something definitely went wrong. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about Dahlia Molina. Dahlia placed ninth. I believe she placed 12 or 13 on her last show, and now she places ninth. If you saw my previous show, you know that I know Dahlia very well. She's been in the ranks for many, many years, and she was an ex-figure competitor, now turned wellness. If you see this post, you can tell that she's a little bit off. She's a little bit not comfortable in the posing yet. But as I said in my preview, I think this is the class for her. She has great quad development. She is being coached by Antitone, and she knows this takes time. She knows that this is a class that's ever evolving. She needs to work on this side pose right here. We need to get all these conditioning, especially from the side. A little bit more calf doesn't hurt. Her glutes look like they've gotten better. So I'm not going to knock her out. She still has the crazy delts from all those years in figure. Her abs here are a little bit distended. So that's all posing. She needs to, do a better job at posing. From the back is where you can see that she definitely needs to work on these glutes. Okay. She does have size on these quads and hams. Her calves can be a little bit better, but you can tell that in the glutes is where she needs a lot of work. And again, I'm not going to knock her out, crazy with my critique, because I know where she's coming from. I know that, in all the years of doing figure, at the time she was doing figure, the glutes weren't even an issue. They wanted smaller glutes. They wanted a different shape and structure for figure. So it's a lot harder for figure girls that, were on that figure stage for so long just to get on the wellness stage. But I believe that, with some timing and some training under her belt, I think she can grow some glutes. And, she's Puerto Rican, so it's in her blood to get some glutes. So I'm happy for Dahlia. I'm happy to see her back on stage after a long, long hiatus. So it's going to come down to that, just training for all glutes' sake. We have Renee Harji here. She plays sixth, and I like her. She's a little bit on the smaller side. I believe this pose, again, if you are a loyal follower of mine, you will know exactly what I'm going to say. She is way, way too up and down here. This is almost figure posing right here. This hip right here needs to be sticking out all the way to this side. This left leg is absolutely great. I like the conditioning. I like the shape. I like the size on her, especially on her. Her upper body is just fine. Her glutes pretty damn round. It's just this is way too up and down. This leg right here, way, way too up and down. From the back, she's a little bit lighter on the tan right here. Great calves, great outer quads. You can tell there's a slight look right here of the famous teardrop. She does have to be a lot harder to be competitive. I know she's done a few shows, but she needs to be a little bit more harder. Next up, King Tasia Goodley. She places fifth. She's done great. I can say that she's gotten better, and that's what it's all about. That's why you should do more shows. She has great structure. Yeah, she has the tiniest waist, one of the tiniest waists, and symmetry goes a long way, especially in the wellness division, which is the class that the symmetry is kind of the other upside down in a way. There's a picture of her right here. She is not doing a pose. This is like a transition pose, but I wanted to show it on camera because I wanted you guys to see how tiny her waist is compared to her quads. Okay. In reality, her calves need to get better. Her upper body is just fine. Her quads are absolutely good. Good teardrop here in the front. Her calves can get better. And what really is going to set her apart is when she goes from the back and these glutes grow a little bit more. You can tell that she does have done her homework while, training quads, hamstrings. You can tell there's a little teardrop right here. But in reality, these calves can get better and these glutes can get better. I'm sure with her genetics, it's only a matter of time. All these competitors, especially like girls like Quintasia, you'll see them grow year after year. You'll see them get better. And in reality, you're just seeing the very beginning of something really special. in our wellness division. So keep an eye out for her. She seems like she's nailing down conditioning, so it's only a matter of time. Next up on fourth place, we got Karen Brandel, which in reality, she comes in from placing second and drops down to fourth. Karen looks a little bit softer-ish on the abs here from the side, good roundness on the glutes, a little bit too up and down for my liking. Of course, this is my opinion. Let me reiterate that. This is my opinion. This is the godfather of wellness opinion. But I'm usually good at my opinions, right? I would have liked to see her a little bit more with this hip a little bit out. She's a little bit softer than I've seen her. I've seen her a little bit harder. From the back, you see there's nothing really happening in reality. You can tell that, from the last show, she was a little bit harder from the back. Of course, you guys know my story with her and her calves, but I'm not gonna touch that on this video. In reality, all the Karen needed, this is Frida Paulson, sorry. All the Karen needed was to be a little bit harder for her to be competitive, because what she ended up doing was facing Frida Paulson, which was a lot fuller and a lot harder than her. Moving on to Frida Paulson, I believe Frida is doing another show. That she won't stop. She won't stop. That's how good she is. And she is not a rookie. She's been doing this forever, and she knows what it takes to be a true Ifbb pro. Frida has been doing whatever she needs to do in order to succeed, in order to get better. In reality, when you see her right here on the side pose, this is a good pose for her. Her only problem is she needs more conditioning and a little bit more size on the side legs. Right here, I'm really happy with this conditioning right here. I'm really happy with her glutes. I'm really happy with her abs, her upper body, her entire presentation. It's just, again, there's nothing I can knock her out, because in reality, she needs time to grow. But who knows who she's going to face in this upcoming lineup. Hey, she placed third here. She might place second. She might place first. You never know. She's very competitive, and she, for some reason, sometimes like 2 days out or 1 day out from the show, she looks really, really hard. Her glutes are amazing from the back. It gives the illusion that they're far bigger than they really are. They can get bigger, of course, but again, it's going to take time. You can see slights of conditioning in her hamstrings. She does have high calves, but in reality, you can tell their size in these calves and their size in her overall package. Can she get better? Absolutely. In reality, it's one of those things that it's timing. It's timing. Again, one more time, if you leave Frida Paulson a whole year with this same body, I can guarantee you that this side leg right here is going to look redonkulous. Okay. And considering that more and more judges are, giving away prizes and first place to conditioning the way it should be, this is the way to go. OG original wellness is about size, fullness, and conditioning. All three of those together go hand in hand. I am really happy at the moment. We are here in September. At the moment, I'm really happy with the way the judging is evolving, because back in the Olympia last year, there was some confusion still. There were some girls like Cass Gillis, who I praised because she looked absolutely phenomenal, and they kind of bumped her out in the Olympia, where in reality now, if Cass was competing against these girls, she would be beating them. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Next up, we have Amanda Burnett, one of my top favorites. I've followed her career since her very beginning, since her very, the beginning of Amanda basically trying to be a great wellness competitor. And she does, she's one of the few that have evolved. Jenny Snacks, or whatever she wants to call. They both wanted the USA's, but they both have great bodies. They both represent the class really well. And this is by far the best Amanda we've seen. She gets better show after show. And I've told you guys, she's going to win a lot of shows. If she keeps doing this, she's going to win a lot of shows. I like her shape. I like her structure. Her tanning was on point. Her legs were amazing. Good abs. From the back, she could have been a little bit more tighter in the glutes and hams. Her calves are awesome. And then what happened and what ended up happening was that she was against Michelle Ibarra, which I personally gave this package. Believe it or not, I give it a 4 because her tanning could have been better. So her tanning was a little bit light, but no, not a 4.5. If the tanning was good, I would have given it a 4.5. But in reality, for Michelle, it's a no contest. She won unanimously from the judges' standpoint, and she just brought in conditioning like crazy. And especially when she was training from the back, this was a sight to see, even when she was doing shows in Brazil, because her glutes look so freaking full. It's not even funny when she turns to the side and from the back. It's not even funny. Look at her calves. Look at her striations in the hamstrings. And I've had people calling me up that have never seen this type of glute development ever in their lives. And what do you know? Michelle comes in here. And if you saw my preview video, I did my preview video. And then Michelle, contacted me saying that, I'm doing Texas. I'm doing the show. I'm on my way to do the show. And if you guys saw the post on the Wellness Observer Live, you saw that I said, this, my friends, changes absolutely everything. And, the Godfather of Wellness was right, because it did change everything. And she ended up winning the entire show. Again, this is something that's been happening, a little bit towards last few shows. We don't know, the list comes out, and that's the official list from the Ifbb Pro League. If a name of the competitor is not there, it means that the competitor hasn't submitted the contract, or the contract got lost in an email, or it just didn't go to the league. There's sometimes that a contract comes in after the list is out, and they update the list and they put their name up there. Sometimes it gets mixed up. But in this case, Karen Brandel and Michelle Ibarra, coincidentally, 2 Brazilians, that were not on the list. So I did my preview. Basically, I added Karen because she had posted all over that she's doing Texas. I didn't know Michelle was going to do Texas. And in reality, the moment she sent me a message, I clearly stated that, yes, she is not on the list, but she is saying she's going to be there. So she's flying on her way to Texas to sign the contract there, and she's doing it. That was a surprise entrant, but it did change it. It did change, the placing, and it changed everything. I told all of you guys that when this show was going to happen, the main purpose of the show, when the girls jumped in, it was going to be the side pose. From the front, you got all these girls that look absolutely great from the front. Okay, tiny waist, tiny waist, tiny waist, great legs, great shoulders, great shoulders. This is a great pose for Renee Harji right here. Look at that. She looks freaking great. So what ended up happening here, believe it or not, is that what I said was the truth. From the side, you can tell how Michelle's glutes are rounder than Amanda's and Frida's. You can see the softness in Frida compared to Amanda and compared to Michelle. The calf development of Michelle, calf development on Amanda, and calf development on Frida. 3 great looks, 3 different bodies with kind of the same, same intention to be a great wellness competitor. I liked Amanda's color of all of them. Amanda's color and Frida were really, really good coloring. And this pose from the side, you can tell that, even though Karen has great hamstrings, there's no comparison right here. You can tell that she's softer than Michelle. And, Quintasia right here is very, very soft compared to Michelle and Amanda. For Renee, she's way smaller than this. I would have loved to see a little bit more upper glute right here for Amanda, to be honest with you, so she can get that round look. From the back, it's great shot. There's nothing that I can say that, it'll help tell you the difference whole here. In reality, all these girls have great teardrops. It's just the shape changes because that's genetics 101. But as you can tell from afar, you kind of sort of tell that, Frida and Michelle have that long, full look. Frida is not that far from the back. Now, Amanda has bigger glutes than Frida right here, and she has more conditioning in her quads and in her hamstrings. Frida is still a little bit softer in this area. And, comparable to Michelle, I think Amanda was the most comparable one. I'm going to go on camera right now and I'm going to say strategically in front of you guys that, as the godfather of wellness, listen to me. I wouldn't have not one problem if Amanda would have won the show. I wouldn't, honestly. Now, there are some shots here that Amanda, I think, this is a good shot for her in reality. But there were some shots of Amanda when she was doing the quarter turns that her stomach kind of looked a little bit distended. Not on this one. This one looks absolutely great. But you can tell the glutes here, she doesn't have enough upper glute compared to Michelle. And actually, look, Karen has a good glute, but she's not in shape. She's not conditioning. But again, I'm going to go on camera and say I wouldn't have an issue with Amanda if the judges decided that Amanda would have won this show. You can tell that, here with Renee on the corner and Quintasia on the other corner, size is an issue. They need more size. I like the conditioning on Renee here, especially on this leg. Imagine this, and I'm going to point it out. Imagine if Frida and Amanda had this type of conditioning, okay? If Frida Paulsen, I'm calling it right now, if Frida Paulsen had this type of conditioning on her legs, holy moly, she will be winning shows left and right, because I'm sure that the judges are waiting for. The judges like her. She's a great representation of a great body, great look, great stage presentation. I'm sure the judges love her. It's just that side leg needs to be harder and more defined. Again, on air, I'm saying this, I like Michelle. She was going to win the show, unanimously, which she did with straight ones. And then second place, Amanda Burnett placed second unanimously. But if for some reason any judges would have any sort of discussions and they would have flipped the coin and said, I want Amanda to win the show because I liked her because this, that, and the other, I would have come on air and said I wouldn't have no problem, because Amanda has worked very hard and she was right there by 1-2 points in my own scorecard. Okay, it's splitting hairs, at least in this show. But at the end of the day, I think Michelle brought in enough conditioning to snag this victory. That's gonna do it for my recap of the IFBB Pro Heart of Texas. This was a great show. And I cannot wait to see these ladies again. I believe Frida Paulsen is doing a show. I think it's a center stage, one of the shows. I believe she's doing another show, and if she's watching right now, she knows that all she needs to do is bring in some lines, because in reality, the size is going to take a little bit more time, maybe another year for her to get size, but she needs those lines in those areas. I'm not sure if Amanda's doing a show. If I was her, absolutely, I would do a show. She's just right there on the very tip of greatness. And remember, if Amanda wins, she just turned pro and she just won a show, and she could be going to the grandest stage of them all, the Mr. Olympia contest, which will be held in the awesome stage in Vegas. Okay, it won't be like last year. The people got so riled up, and the fans wanted this, because if you were at the Olympia last year, it was awesome. Okay, so we will see these girls up on the Olympia stage, and I will be there right again. I don't want to go without saying again, thank you guys for following and supporting the channel. There's some cool stuff coming on the way for all of you. Physical stuff that you can actually wear. It's really cool. And another thing that I wanted to tell you guys is that as we count down the weeks to the Olympia, I'll be posting videos from last year's Olympia, giving you guys exclusive views of the girls on stage, on prejudging, and I'll be doing a play-by-play on each and every single video, so you guys can see what my thoughts were back then, and who's going to probably show up this year and maybe destroy that version from last year. Okay, so please keep it locked. Click that like notification button, click all the cool stuff for you guys to keep yourself updated on the very best wellness channel in the entire world, of course, with the godfather of wellness, the one and only. Thank you so much for following, and I'll see you soon. Let's do this.